welcome. It's really great to be here. And I have to let you know that this is a first for me. Okay, here we go. So this is what we're going to do to think about what kind of speaking goes on in a primary classroom. Then we're going to think about what's difficult about speaking in English for the children. And then what's difficult about doing speaking activities in class for us, for the teachers. So that's two kinds of difficulty. And then we'll see if we can find some solutions. Think about how we can help the children, how we can help ourselves. So the first thing we're going to think about is exactly what kind of speaking does go on in a primary English classroom. I mean speaking in English, okay, not speaking any other languages. So most of you, I think, have been in school today. So have a think about your classes and grab that pencil and paper and write down a couple of things that your pupils said and a couple of things that you yourself said. Because there's two lots of speakers, aren't there? There's the teachers and there's the pupils. But it's all English, we hope. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next slide, which is this one. Okay, and I've divided the kind of language that goes on in the classroom into 5 different categories. All right, so I'm going to talk you through them quickly. And as I'm talking through, perhaps you can look at what you've written down and think about which category it would fit in. So we're going to have a look at meta-language. Okay, and meta-language is the language we use to talk about language. All right, so if you say to the children, this is a question, or this is an adjective, or this is a past form, that's meta-language. And then there's classroom language, which is the language that we use to manage the classroom with. Okay, so both teachers and children use that. So sit down please, or what page is it, that kind of thing is classroom language. Then there's spontaneous language. Sometimes something happens, doesn't it? You know, it starts raining, or it starts snowing, or a bird flies into the classroom, or something happens, and you break away from your planned lesson and you talk about the incident that's just happened. Did anybody use any meta-language today in class? Perhaps not. Classroom language, surely. Can you give us an example? Can you tell us what you said? Just 1 or 2 things. Sit down, be quiet please, listen to me. Yeah. Excellent. Araceli, okay. Pay attention, yes, all right. So there is lots of classroom language going on, which is great actually, because that's the language the children really learn very fast, because it's totally contextualized. So how can we help the kids? Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Trying to move them away from this idea of writing. Somebody said before that it's much easier, and of course it is, and they feel much more confident about writing than speaking. So, well, surprisingly enough, the more listening you do, the better the speaking will be. Okay? Because listening does all sorts of things as well as practicing language. It gives the children a chance to absorb the language, and it very often models the kind of speaking you'd like to do.